I caught myself. I messed up. Not big time, but I definitely messed up. So one of the kids were trying to express something to me, and they were talking about one of their other siblings, and I got defensive. I got defensive for the sibling that they were discussing. And I felt like what they were saying wasn't accurate, and so I started defending the sibling, and I wasn't hearing what my child was trying to say to me. And then afterwards, I had to text him and apologize for not giving him the space to express himself fully and actually be heard. I felt very bad about that. He had a right to feel how he felt, even if I didn't agree with him. I had no right to like cut him off and get defensive, raise my voice, because I feel like our conversation ended on a negative note because I raised my voice. And with my kids, once you raise your voice, the conversation is over. They're gonna leave. Their dad was like that. They're not for a whole bunch of yelling, all that other stuff. They'll argue, but it has to be at low tones. Once you raise your voice, they stop listening. And once I feel like I'm not being heard, my voice raises. Or when I come from a defensive place, my voice raises like naturally. And I'm already a very loud person. So moving forward, I realized that I've really got to pay more attention to when I'm triggered and not listen to people just to express myself. I really have fallen out of active listening. I was doing good with it for a while, but then I kind of fell off. I find that I do that sometimes, like with my studies, I'll fall off, or my evening routine, I'll fall off, or like my work routine, or my even my diet. Whereas not so much what I'm eating, but when I eat, and eating too early in the day or eating too late in the evening. So that I just have to hold myself accountable. And I tell my son all the time that he needs to discipline himself more, but so do I. And I find that every time I tell the kids that they need to work on something, that is the same thing that I need to work on. So if I fuss at the kids about something later on in the evening when I'm laying down, and because this is my evening routine now, I just did an eye massage. Very, very helpful. It's got heat, it's got Bluetooth, and it will massage your eyes 15 minutes straight. I'll use that sometimes, but my evening routine now consists of me taking an account of my day, what I did good, what I need to do better, trying to acknowledge and celebrate my wins, and also acknowledge the things that I could have done better and what I can do better for the next day, set my intentions for the next day, pray, give thanks, all types of things, work out any memories that I have from my past. That's my space to do that. And to just power down from being on media all day. Like, I work on social media and I'm in front of a screen 10, 12 hours a day. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like, right now, my eyes are very, very strained. So while I'm busy telling my kid that he needs to have discipline, girl, you need to have discipline. You need to have discipline. I just wanted to come on here and let you know that I really, really messed up. And moving forward, I've got to center myself more by just not saying anything. If I can just really stay in the moment and remember so easily, like just really, really remember, just ingrain it into me. Remember, just don't say anything. Just, I've got to ingrain that in myself somehow to just, when I'm triggered, my automatic response is silence. It has to be, because I'm missing so much information by trying to always express how I feel to people. Like, it's not about how you feel all the time, yo. You have got to listen. You've got to be quiet and listen. And honestly, I feel like it's too soon to express how I feel about something if you haven't heard everything of what the other person has to say. How do you have an opinion? How are you so passionate about the one sentence that person said and triggered you when you haven't heard the backup? So I've got to listen more. So this is what I do. When I've acknowledged that I have a behavior that needs to be changed, I bust out the journal. I read that if it ain't written, it ain't real. It seemed true enough. I'll tell you when I feel differently about it. So I'm going to write it down. I even write down notes from when I have therapy. Yes. I write down everything. I feel like I was a scribe in a past life. Shoot, I'm a scribe now. But yes, I've got to make spaces for my kids to be heard fully. And if that's what I want from them, I have to be able to offer it to them. Because I know when I'm trying to explain something to them, I cannot stand when they cut me off or start a side conversation. I really do not like that. It's like, do you not value what I'm saying? I'm trying to teach you something. Okay? I'm not going to be here forever. I'm trying to give you my information. I'm going to need you to give me your full attention. I'm not going to drone on and on and on and on and make it long and drawn out. I just need your attention for 2-3 minutes. But I'm not giving them that. I'd say they get about 4 sentences out before I cut them off. All it takes is for them to say something I feel like isn't true, or I feel like they're mistaken on. Then I want to correct them. I want to make things clear. But what I need to do is listen. Power move. So I'm going to come up with a strategic plan. And I'm going to put myself in the situation before it even happens. And I'm going to practice inside my own head how I'm going to respond. Or in this case, not respond. So I'm going to go into my head and I'm going to play, because we have the same arguments over and over again. It's always the same things, really. So I could just pick an argument that we have every couple of weeks and I'll put it in my head and I'm going to respond differently in this simulation, because this is training. I'm retraining myself to have different thought patterns and different behavioral patterns. This is the work that I do. I don't just isolate. I isolate and I do a whole lot of shadow work, which is just deep work, getting to know yourself and fixing all your broken parts. I felt ashamed, and I definitely made sure that I apologized to my son, because I don't want him to grow up to be the type of man that doesn't apologize. The type of person that doesn't apologize and acknowledge what they did wrong and vow to do better. Because it's not enough to just apologize. I told him that I feel like our conversation would have benefited had I allowed him to speak without being interrupted, and that I will do better moving forward. And accountability is what's lacking in a lot of relationships. Accountability is what's lacking in a lot of people. So I want to be able to show my children what that's like in real life. And I have to do these things. If I want my children to have these qualities, I have to exhibit these qualities in front of my children. And I still have a lot of training myself to do. I've had a lot of childhood trauma from a very early age. So I've had to do a lot more work to mature emotionally. I've been a very emotionally stunted person for a very long time. And it takes a lot of work for me to stay balanced. And that's why I put too much on my plate with always needing to create and make music and go dance and go write and go paint. And it's like, I've been through so much. Sometimes I just need to sit and just be with my thoughts. A lot of times I'm just with my thoughts, even if there's like a video playing, or while I'm painting, or I'm cleaning, or I'm writing, I'm thinking. Sometimes I'm just looking out the window. I'm thinking. I'm always in my thoughts. And that's why when I was younger, when I got locked up for weed, it was nothing serious. It was a couple of weed seeds, a bag or two of weed. I got locked up because my adoptive mom made some phone calls because her ex-husband was a cop. She knew everybody in the judicial system. It was very, very petty. I should have never gone to jail for that. But this is what I'm referencing. It's not something I did as an adult. I was a juvenile. I was 17. Anyway. And this was after I got out of Job Corps and graduated early and came back and almost had a job for $15 an hour. They don't matter. So, anyway. When I was in solitary, I never had a problem because I was always with my thoughts. I can play music in my head while I'm at work just as clearly as if I had on earbuds. And my mind is always processing information. And it's simultaneously thinking about things from the past, things now, and what I need to do for the future, while also being concerned with all the people in my life and how I need to move them around and what they need from me and what I need to do. And it's like my mind never stops, which was another reason why I used drugs. Not even so much to deal with the sadness. Well, that too, to numb out the sadness, but just to like help me organize my thoughts. Because back then I didn't have any coping skills, and I did not know that I needed to move my body around a lot and express myself artistically in order to help get some of that out of me. But before I knew that, I didn't, they were just there. It was jumbled, so I would never sleep. And I have another son that's like that. He doesn't really sleep. But is because I couldn't shut my mind off. But now I'm older, I have more experience, I have more information, and I understand that I have got to express myself artistically on a constant basis. And especially with writing things down, it helps me have more clarity. And honestly, the last piece that I'm missing in this is meditation, because that will help me be a lot calmer and have a lot more clarity. I've got to meditate. It's like there's only a couple more things that I feel like if I just go ahead and integrate into my life, I will be a lot healthier and I could move forward a lot further on my healing journey. But for whatever reason, the things that I need to do the most are the things that I avoid the most. And I'm going to work on that. I'm going to put it in the book. Work on what you've been avoiding. Thank you for spending time with me here in Fury World. Healing is not linear. We're going to keep repeating cycles just to toughen our resolve. I almost said thicken our resolve. That sounds nasty. We are just strengthening ourselves, our souls, our mind, our bodies, and that's what I'm about. Progression, building myself. I started at like negative 100, and I'm going to build myself all the way up to the top because I have already defined what success looks like for me. Financial independence, land that I can sustain, and my family under one roof comfortably. That's what success looks like for me. And until I get there, I have to learn how to enjoy the journey, take my family along with me, and make sure that I'm providing everything that they need, making sure that my relationship with spirit is solid, and documenting what we're going through and learning, constantly learning. I've been trying to figure out, now that my kids are getting older and they don't need me in the same capacity as they used to, and I'm no longer child-centered, what am I going to put in that space? And I thought it was going to be myself, but I feel like it needs to be information. I feel like it needs to be my education. I feel like I need to be information-based and centered now. Now that I don't have to, focus on my kids so much, they're pretty much fine. They just need support and somebody to listen to them. So part of working on what I've been avoiding is changing what is centered in my life and becoming information centered and actually showing up for myself. That is a lot of work. I'm here for it though. If you're interested in checking out my music, you can look for me under my artist name, The Fury of Abyss, on any streaming music platform worldwide. Did I say that right? On any music streaming platform worldwide. Thank you so much for spending time with me here in Fury World. I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.